So let's take a look at a credit report and see what are we looking at here. So when you look at a credit report, there are a couple of things that you're definitely going to see. So you're going to see your personal profile. You're going to see all the information that can be used to identify you, your name, your address, your social, because they got to get the right person. I mean, there could be 1,200 Dale Parkers. You know what I mean? There could be 1,200 Lydia Faleyes. I don't know. I only know one, but it could be several. So your social is important. That's why you got to protect it. But that's used to identify you. You want to be sure that, when you look at this stuff, everything's spelled correctly, everything's right. They will have your current address, all of your previous addresses. If you've ever had any experience going to like an annualcreditreport.com, or even a lot of times when you're applying for things online or you're trying to get information, say you're trying to get birth certificate or some kind of information, they'll ask you these security questions of these particular, did you have a loan with an auto loan with, they'll give you a list of banks and you have to choose which bank it was. They're pulling all this information from your credit. And they said, did you have a payment you had a payment back in 2007 between this figure, this figure, this figure, and they'll give you a choice. And you have to choose which one. They're pulling that information off of your credit report.
That's interesting because it was asking me about my previous address. It was like, I've got like 3 addresses in the last like 25 years. And it's been 15 since my last address. And it was asking me about that address, like the number, the street number. And I know it's 1033, 1035, 10 something. And I'm looking at this, and they had, and the way they did it was like, you needed to know. It wasn't like 5007, nothing like it was all, they were pretty much similar, different street name, but I knew the street name. So I was like, okay, this is it. And I'm like, where did this come from? I can't even remember this. Okay. They know where I lived.
Yeah. They pull all kinds of records for that. I've seen them pull MVA records as well and birth records. I've seen them ask questions about people's cousins. And are you related to a person by this name? About what age are they? You have to try to guess what cousin Ralph is. I don't know how old he is. So we don't know how old anybody really is. They just
right.
But I've seen them pull a lot of information, and they're connecting all of these dots and pieces to really know who you are. So anything on your personal profile is out there. You can get it. And they're also on your credit report is going to be a credit summary. It's going to list the total numbers of open accounts and closed accounts, right? So you're going to be able to see anything that's public record. If there's any judgments, if there's any liens against you, or any court orders, all of that stuff, any inquiries, how many times you've applied for things, where they are, and anything that's delinquent, anything that's in collections, all that is going to appear under your credit summary. So you'll be able to see, they'll list them out. Like, they're not just going to give you like, you got a few good, you got a few bad. No, you will see M&T, auto loan. This is the payment. This is the outstanding balance. This is how much the monthly payment was. And it'll literally have a ticker for every month you paid on time. If it wasn't paid, it'll be like 30, it'll be 90, it'll be 60 or whatever. And it'll, let you know. You will know, man, they got everything recorded. It's there. It's there. It's all there. So then you'll have your public records. That's where there's bankruptcies, tax liens, judgments, mostly, hopefully, this will be blank. But you won't have any public records out there. That's a good thing. But just know if there was anything there, that's what that would be if there were any bankruptcies or anything like that there. Also, we talked about credit inquiries. There is a particular section for credit, and there's a summary, and then they break it down specifically. If they're the inquiries that you've had, who had access to your credit file, and then you can see that for up to 2 years. So you want to be careful with where you apply, or even the soft hits. These soft hits don't hurt, but especially you just want to be mindful of who's accessing and pulling your credit. And, because knowing what's out there is important, because if there's another Dale Parker living in New Jersey and he somehow got a hold of Dale Parker here in Princess Anne, their information, it could be a woman named Dale Parker. You know what I mean? And Dale was living a good life off of Dale's information. So it's important to look at your credit report and know what's out there. And your account history is out there. All the details are out there. The names, the account types, the balances, the credit limits, the loan amounts, and the payment history. All that's out there under the account history section. So when you look at it, when you're looking at the different sections, everything that you're looking at. Also on there, when you're looking at a credit report, they will give you the names of the credit bureaus and numbers. I can't remember if it's on the sample or not, but say there's something that's like, I don't remember doing that. I don't remember having that loan or that credit card. You can dispute it. Don't accept it. If it don't sound right, it don't look right, dispute it. Let somebody know, hey, I'm going to need y'all to provide me some proof of where I signed for this. And if they can't provide you with the documents, then they'll have to remove it from your credit report. So just know it takes work. So credit repair, credit building, it's better to build it and keep it. It's easier to build it and keep it than it is to rebuild it. It's possible to rebuild it, but it does take a little more legwork. It really does. It takes a little more effort.
A friend of mine does credit repair, and he was saying, like dispute it all, let's dispute it, because a lot of times, like depending on what it is, they sell those balances, and a lot of times they're getting lost in paperwork, so they don't have anything to back up. Just like with the foreclosure crisis, 2008, where they were foreclosing on people's homes, but when they would challenge them, they didn't even have the paper, because they bought, how they buy those securities, those things like that, and they're buying thousands at a time, and they might not have the backup paperwork for it, or where it is, they don't know. And I know that he was telling me that he's helped quite a few people with getting stuff removed, whether or not they really did owe it, but the lender has a responsibility,
right,
to keep the paperwork and be able to provide it on demand.
That's right. I have heard that too. Dispute it all, because you never know. You never know. But yeah, but it's important that you got to know what you're dealing with, and you got to know what's out there. You can't fight what you don't know. You can't change what you don't know. So knowing is important. Knowing is important.